we're already talking about the state fair?
It seems a little bit wrong.
What's going on?
It does, and without Dawn, which is really...
I know. She's at home right now,
You know
just waiting to hear the list.
If she's not up with the new baby, little Tommy, we should call her.
Yeah.
We should call her and tell her that we're going to talk about some of the new state fair foods so she can, when she comes to visit us.
And we know she misses being awake at this hour.
She does.
Right. Well, thanks for joining us this morning, all of you. Thanks for being up this early. I'm Kelsey Soby, in for Dawn Stevens, who is home with her little one.
And I'm Tom Holden. It is Thursday, June 27th. Let's get right to our weather forecast on this Thursday morning. Time right now is 4:32. Same-sex couples are still celebrating this morning after the nation's highest court cleared the way for them to receive the same benefits as other married couples. And
beginning in August, gay marriages can begin here. But without this ruling, those unions would have meant very little outside Minnesota. Stephanie Gilhard is live this morning in Minneapolis at the Minneapolis City Hall with more. Hey, Stephanie.
Good morning. Well, many believe
the Minnesota Senate is setting aside $500,000 for legal costs to fight the lawsuit filed by a former Senate aide. President Obama and his family are headed to Africa for a week-long trip. The Obamas plan to make... The time is 4:37. We know it's early. For some of you, maybe it's late. Either way, grab your iPad, your computer, whatever. Send us a message on Facebook, and we'll be giving you shout-outs. Coming up. Also coming up this morning, the surprising number of NFL players who have been arrested this offseason, and how one former Minnesota Viking is trying to get young players to get on and then stay on the right track. Plus, get ready.
All right, this stretch of pleasant weather starts right now.
Right now.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. Because that's what it said on the bottom of the 7 day. It said pleasant, and we were looking for pleasant.
I'll keep pleasant on the 7 day. We have had to throw in, I threw in a stray shower chance yesterday for Saturday.
You've been talking about that all week, that there's a little shower.
There's little blips that might just decorate the 7 day forecast, but they're not going to wash out any day or any couple of hour period necessarily. Yeah. They're not going to ruin your plans. They might be a nuisance more than anything else as we head to the weekend and early next week. But in terms of pleasant and comfortable weather and brilliant sunshine on either side of that, we'll be just fine. We had our rumbles roll through parts.
All right, as we told you earlier, star NFL player Aaron Hernandez is charged with murder.
But he's definitely not the only football player in trouble with the law. 28 NFL players, no matter where they come from, dealing with an inordinate amount of money that they didn't know how to handle. But we just saw a couple of pictures there. Brewer takes them to third world countries to say, okay, you are under the spotlight, you're under the microscope there in the U.S. Look at how other people live. You are very fortunate. You're very blessed.
Giving perspective, I think that's so important, being able to then make good decisions for yourself. I saw a documentary once on some of these athletes, and they say, some of these people come from situations where they didn't grow up with money, and now all of a sudden they have so much. And it's hard to all of a sudden know how to perfectly manage that.
Well, and even with people who've grown up with in a middle-class upbringing, most people like Aaron Hernandez didn't have a $40 million upbringing. Right. So even for kids guys who are used to having a little bit of money, certainly not that kind of money. Well, this next story may get your mouth watering at least a little bit, but you're going to have to wait a little while to satisfy these cravings.
The state fair?
We're asking about your must-eats. What do you have to have?
It's the food.
It is nice, though, and sometimes weird, when our awesome fans come and try to share food with us. It's like, do you want a bite of this? Do you really want us to take a bite of your bacon on a stick? But very generous. We do like it. So
I'm known for touching the food that comes in the newsroom. Remember when the donuts came?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I got made fun of for touching all of them. So I feel like touching or tasting both a little personal. And someone else's food.
It is.
A lot of women take it easy when they are 8 months pregnant. And that's one of the first things they brag about. Oh, our place is so cool. It's so relaxed. We have dartboards and beers in the fridge. And I think, if I want to loosen up, let's get an in-house masseuse. How's that sound?
How about you just pay people a lot of money and then let people do their job and then let them go home?
That works too.
There's something I think we got that. All right, coming up, find out who tops this year's list of the most powerful celebrities.
Plus, Paula Deen breaks.
Very much, Keith. Appreciate it. It is 4:52 now. An emotional apology from celebrity chef Paula Deen after admitting she used racial slurs in her past.
Of course, surrounding a discrimination lawsuit she's involved in, and they said, have you ever in the past used racial slurs? She said, yes, I have. I haven't in a long time, but a lot of people are up in arms, and I feel like it's a case of one person lets her go, so then these other companies all feel like they should just because the PR. I mean, I don't know.
Well, and then this is an interesting case because Matt Lauer asked her one of the final questions was, don't you wish you just, when you raised your hand, you could have just lied? But at least there was some integrity there. She knew full well why she was being deposed because it was a lawsuit, as you mentioned, against her for the same type of behavior. So she and her team had to have known that she was going to be questioned about this, and she made a very conscious decision to tell the truth.
Right.
Which is interesting, and we shouldn't be, praising her for it because you should always tell the truth when you're in any kind of court proceeding. But I think that just adds a little bit of a wrinkle to this, as she could have lied. She very well could have lied and said this other person's absolutely wrong. Right,
and sometimes the stuff you talk about in those situations happened years ago, but you still have to tell the truth. We'll see what happens with that. Time now, 4:54. Her talk show may be over, but Oprah is still the queen of celebrities.
Of course. Keith Marler, number 6. Michael Jackson's son is the first family member to testify as a two-headed snake at the same zoo.
I always wonder, when they eat, do they take turns eating? Because there's just one stomach, so which mouth gets to work?
Well, that's a great question. I think they both do because everyone likes to eat.
Right.
All right.
You just get full faster.
That's a good question.
All right.
Time to find out who's up with us on this Thursday morning. I want to say good morning to, where's your post? It's Lynn. She says, I'm up with my baby boy. He's 3 weeks old today. Smiley face. Congratulations, Lynn. Those are always kind of the nice times around this time in the morning when the baby's just eating, but kind of quiet around the house.
Right, and we're glad you're staying tuned to us. And of course, John Henry says he's heading to Country Fest. Maybe some of you guys are too. Got to get up early for that.
My sister and brother-in-law are on their way as well. Well, coming up here on The Buzz and the Fox 9 Morning News, officials in Minnesota and across the country are launching a crackdown on drunk boaters.
And people hoping...
Good morning, and thanks for starting your day with us. I'm Tom Halden.
And I'm Kelsey Soby. It is Thursday, June 27th. The time, 5:01. Let's get started with the news of the day, because the way the federal government looks at marriages in this country is forever changed.
Last month, Minnesota lawmakers redefined marriage, but without yesterday's ruling, same-sex couples would be missing out on federal rights and benefits. Stephanie Galehart is live.
Charges are expected today against the suspect in a hit-and-run that killed an Army veteran. The Minnesota Senate is setting aside $500,000 for legal costs to fight the lawsuit filed by a former Senate aide. Michael Brown. Warmer weather maybe has you heading to the lakes. Law enforcement is hoping to kick off a safe summer boating season this weekend, and they'll be on the lookout for drunk boaters. Here, I thought it was just Keith coming over to the set. Just kidding. Do you hang out by the lakes much, buddy?
Wow. Where's Karen Scullin?
What?
We had a beautiful day yesterday.
Up on the Fox 9 Morning News, IRS officials face more grilling in the conservative targeting scandal.
Plus, from star athlete.
More trouble for the IRS as yet another high-level employee pleads the fifth.
Doug Luzader.
I think there was a little finger wagging. Shame.
Well, anytime the S word is uttered in Congress, shame. There's plenty of shame to go around. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yes. Let's not say that here.
No.
No shame, though, in a good forecast. And we're here and we're liking Keith.
It is 5:19 right now. It actually just turned 5:20. And coming up next in sports, the Twins wrap up a, less than stellar road trip. It was pretty rough.
Plus, it's... Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kelsey Soby.
And I'm Tom Halden. It is Thursday, June 27th. Thanks for watching us on this really looks to be a pleasant morning. Great looking sunrise.
Looks really pretty.
Hey, Keith, we'll have your 7-day forecast coming up. Our top story at 5:31. Same-sex couples are still celebrating this morning after the nation's highest court cleared the way for them to receive the same benefits as other married couples.
And beginning in August, gay marriages can begin here. But without this ruling, those unions would have meant very little outside the state. Stephanie Galehart is live outside Minneapolis City Hall with more for us this morning. Hey, Stephanie.
Hi there. Well, many
for that update. Police didn't have to look very far to find the suspect wanted in a hit-and-run accident that killed an Army veteran.
Yeah, both the suspect and the victim are from Wyoming, Minnesota. 24-year-old.
The Minneapolis police chief is asking the public to help make the city safer after a 4-year-old boy is injured in a triple shooting. Governor Dayton is canceling several appearances due to an injury to his hip. The six for a lot of people. We'll
Absolutely.
see.
If you can get enough people on board, you can make a ton of money.
That's right. It is never too early to start talking about the state fair,
well,
especially when it comes to the food.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll give you that. Now, there are 47 new foods being added to the fair's menu this year. You can check them out on our Facebook page this morning. So we are wondering, what's your favorites? What do you have to have? What are the first things you get when you head out to the fair?
I'm in traffic with some bacon. Do you think people would stop having road rage?
Or would they just be jealous and they would rage?
Oh, the other people who saw it?
There's,
What you got there?
It's not quite as good as the guy who plays the trumpet in his car, but
oh gosh,
bacon
don't do
does
that.
sound good. So how are the roads looking?
Sounds good. Well, I don't see anyone out there eating bacon on the roads. That's the good thing. So we don't have any crashes to report. Westbound 94. So again, ongoing changes right in this area throughout the week, and will continue that way each night, lifting by 5 a.m. in the morning. The north side of town, where we tend to have those traffic levels start first, we're still just seeing light levels, even at that Forest Lake split, where we sometimes have that bottleneck effect. Travelers heading southbound and then branching off 35E and 35W. doing so at the posted speeds. Quiet on the east side, good traffic flow at 94, and the south end of town, we're just starting to see those levels get going. So I'll be here throughout the morning letting you know how things are going. I think at this early hour, the only time you put a brake on is if you're at a stoplight, a stop sign, or maybe in one of those construction zones. It's 5:39, so without further ado, all right, thanks, Keith. Up next, another chapter in celebrity bad behavior, and this time, he just might end up in court.
And
He's starting to make Lindsay Lohan look like a model citizen. Justin Bieber in trouble once again. The Bee out and they can tell people something and it's the trend right away.
Yeah, and it gets retweeted and retweeted again, and pretty soon 1 billion people have seen it.
Right.
It's amazing.
And it's time for our tweet out this morning here on the Fox 9 Morning News.
Yeah, time to check out with our Twitter followers and some of our friends, see what's trending right now. This one's twice as likely to damage those electronics. The biggest complainers are the insurance companies. You know, a lot of us have the insurance on our phones and our iPads, and that people are actually using that insurance, and the companies don't like that. Yes.
It's always a good excuse. Now I have more defense when people make fun of me for having a cat. There we go.
Because it won't eat your cell phone.
This next one, Gawker tweeted it today. I know, it's kind of silly.
My kids weren't watching that. Sweet Moses.
You know what? I know that's
it's
terrible.
Like cartoons when a head pops.
No, that was not a cartoon.
It's not cartoon violence, but okay. Let's just say
Too
good
early
morning
for exploding
to
heads?
Walt.
Yes.
Walt got up early with us today because his dogs want to go out. So there's our Twitter shout out. Walt, thanks for watching the Fox 9 Morning News.
Well, please don't change the channel because you saw an exploding Julia Roberts. Thank you.
Isn't there at least a little party at Keith? I mean, you're the king of sometimes not appropriate.
Yeah, you like to make everyone a little uncomfortable. Yeah. Morning to you if you're about to head out the door. Some spots out there a little bit busy, but no major delays quite yet. Although at 5:51, not used to seeing this many brake lights. 35W at Connie Road I if you're traveling along the north side, heading southbound on 35W. Already some crowding. Some people joining you on your venture heading southward. But no crashes to report. That's the good news here. Highway 100 at County Road 81. A better day for those of you traveling Highway 100. If you're wondering why you were sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic yesterday, well, there was some police activity at the 42nd Avenue overpass. It was not a result of construction. It was not a result of that water main break in County Road 81. So safe to take Highway 100 today, as long as we don't have some right here where I showed you that first jam cam, 35W at County Road I. In this area overnight, we had some closures. That includes ramps and some lanes. We're going to see that tonight as well. I'll tell you exactly where coming up in just a little bit. Here in the Northeast Metro again, we do see 694 with good traffic flow. Good news considering we've had ongoing construction in that area, some lane restrictions over here between New Brighton and Fridley. And with some of that construction on Highway 36 that has closed, Highway 36 from Highway 61 to White Bear Avenue, we're actually sending some of that traffic up here to 694 as the alternate route. So that is adding to the traffic there as well. Here in the south end of town, we're keeping it quiet so far. We'll see the traffic levels building as we progress farther into the morning. And in 10 minutes, I'll tell you exactly what closures are going to place in Minneapolis tonight. Tom?
Thank you, Kelsey. And head at 6 o'clock. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Nice to see you. We're eating like 6 trucks. So I mean, if we don't get hungry or full from these trucks, there's something wrong.
A lot of people not calling in sick here to the station.
There you go.
Right.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
In today's Morning Cuteness, this news continues after this break. Cones at a major Minneapolis junction have been pushed aside from snow overnight work, but more closures, new closures, coming this evening. I'll tell you exactly where coming up. And
Good morning to you and welcome to the Fox 9 Morning News on this gateway to the weekend. It's Thursday.
Oh, yes.
I'm Tom Butler.
He's breaking out the gateway to the weekend. Why not? And I'm Alex Kendall, here with Keith Marler and Kelsey Soby. It's feeling pretty swell out there today.
It's my Friday.
Well,
Oh, yeah, an extra spring in your step.
Just saying.
You planned
Just
that
saying.
well.
I did. Finally. We have a very pleasant day. Yeah, that dew point feels much better. It's still noticeable out there.
Yeah.
But it's not as crazy swampy as yesterday morning.
All right.
Very good. We'll talk to you more about that. We'll get the latest on traffic as well. And at 6:02, our top story this morning.
those cookies are dangerous. The sweet
They are.
Martha's.
Oh, my gosh.
They're
Fudge
small, too,
puppies.
so it's just one after the other.
And she sells a lot
I
of
think you
them.
started me on the fudge puppies. Wouldn't you do a segment on the fudge puppies
Yes, and
one
they come in
time?
every year.
You and Dale,
That's
I
what
think.
had happened.
And, the
While
fudge puppies
back.
are good.
Uh-huh.
They're always good. I like to yell at them, too. They're right up the hill from us.
That's true.
And I yell at them as I drive by on the golf cart.
That's true.
Fudge puppy. There's a lot of good food out there. But again, the motto is, you take a bite.
Yes, move on.
Move it on.
Take a bite, move on, you'll get to the fair just fine. We have ourselves an easygoing day today, which is good news. Yesterday we had...
Mornings at that junction of 35W and Highway 10 shouldn't surprise you. We do tend to see this. It did look to me, though, that the slowdown started even earlier than usual. 35W southbound starting to slow at Highway 10, even Highway 10 eastbound. A little jammed up there as you approach that junction. Down in Minneapolis overnight, you maybe noticed some lane closures, some ramp closures. Those have moved aside from last night, but new ones go into place tonight. Westbound 94 between Highway 280 and 35W will be affected. That will be closed in the westbound direction. Also, several ramps. You'll want to watch for that overnight tonight. Again, goes into play at 10 p.m., lifts by 5 a.m., and then we'll have new closures again tomorrow night. So stay tuned for that. We'll get a closer look at the southern suburbs coming up in about 10 minutes. Tom and Alex. Hi, everyone. It's Thursday, June 27th, and you are waking up with the Fox 9 Morning News, the best way to start your day. I'm Kelsey Soby. We're looking at construction at this early hour already, slowing some of our morning drivers down. Here's a look at 169 at 7th Street. We're moving slowly in the single-lane construction zone. That's 169 between Highway 7 and the Crosstown. It's not a new construction zone. We've had this in place now for a few weeks, and it's not scheduled to be cleared until mid to late July. Let's look to a few other spots right now you may want to keep your eye on. One of those would be 494. Near 49th Avenue. This is over on the west side of the 494 loop as you're traveling southbound from Maple Grove to Plymouth. Already crowded enough where we're seeing some reduced speeds. No major delays. We do tend to have some heavy traffic flow 494 from Maple Grove to Plymouth through much of the morning, although it looks like it's starting a little earlier than usual. 35E down on the south side at County Road 11. We are single lane in both directions due to construction in this area, sort of south of Burnsville, that region. We continue. The restrictions from overnight have cleared. That's the good news. The bad news is we have another closure westbound 94 from 280 to 35W tonight. It also includes some ramp closures. And that carpool, that is not correct, so we won't show you that at all. South side of town, so far, we have light levels of traffic. Things are looking good unless you're entering one of those construction zones. We'll see you back here when the Fox sun's shining out there. It'll be a nice way to start your day with a little sun as you make your way to your morning destination. Right now, we're looking at a stalled semi. Looks like it's being beamed up. 494 westbound at the junction of 52. Westbound travelers seem relatively unfazed by the semi pulled over the side of the road. Just keep an eye out for it. Use a little caution as always. At least today, we don't have those rollovers with semi trucks that are blocking major portions of the roadway like we had in Wisconsin yesterday over in Eau Claire. 94 at McKnight Road as you're traveling westbound. Heavy traffic already as you enter the St. Paul area, so do prepare for some slowdowns at 641. Seems a little early to be that slow going. 35E at County Road 11 on the south side near Burnsville. We'll have ongoing construction in this region that has a single lane in both directions. 5 northbound north of Lakeville due to some ongoing construction at Crystal Lake Road. Normally we see the backups at that Burnsville split anyway because that's sort of a bottleneck effect where 35 travelers branch off to 35W and 35E. So we'll watch for the progress there this morning. Southeast Metro fairly quiet. Some added congestion 61 northbound at that junction of 94. North side 35W southbound heavy traffic, no surprise. Now, some ongoing construction in the Minneapolis area will shut down some major ramps and a stretch of 94 tonight. I'll talk more about that coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Tom, Alex, over to you.
He knows to let her speak
talk
first.
Well, and,
right?
and watching that
We've
interview,
learned that over the years, haven't we?
I'm glad you noticed that because watching the interview, he always deferred first to
Sure,
Jewel.
of course.
Always allowed her, and then he leaned in.
Yeah.
Like husbands most times
By
do.
the way,
By the way, if you care what I say,
Yeah.
that is the key.
That's the real key.
Let her speak first. See now all this advice, Kelsey,
Yeah,
as you
tell
get ready
Chuck.
to get married.
Taking notes.
Well, it is not easy. And you know, we haven't had a dumb criminal story or a slow criminal story in quite a while. So here's a quick one. Police in Australia say a 64-year-old man pulled a knife on a woman. Well, yeah, you got to fold that thing up and get the tennis balls, make sure that put those back in the car.
right?
Yeah.
Special strategy, really.
How old was he?
He was only 64, which is really
Oh,
young for a decent walk. But yeah, he decided that it would be a good idea to carjack somebody at the mall.
The walker was rough.
Disabled doesn't mean unable. Remember that. Thank you, Tom.
Wow.
It's like a beautiful morning for a drive, but construction strikes again, slowing us on 494 and other areas. Construction will even shut down a stretch of 94 westbound tonight. I'll talk about that coming up.
And with the beauty, got a nose like a bloodhound. Smelled it from probably half a mile away.
Yeah.
Good morning and welcome to the Fox 9 Morning News. I'm Alex Kendall.
That's a little musky musk is what that is. I'm Tom Butler, joined by our friends Keith and Kelsey.
Hello.
Nice to see you both.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, isn't that, we're glad we don't have smell-o-vision with a story like that.
Yeah.
That's not pleasant. Time now is 7:01, just turning 7:02. And first, this,
Well, that you can say it stays with you.
I was going to say, you'll remember that one for a
Gust
while.
of wind, if it hits you just right, whew,
Yeah.
right in there.
It makes my snorkeling problematic.
It does, doesn't it? Gasp.
The imploding back.
Coughing up little minnows.
That's gross.
It is kind of.
I know. Well, we're kind of on a gross subject here.
We are. Yeah, we were hot yesterday. We had highs in the upper 80s.
Stuff this morning. We maybe found it. 94 westbound at Hamlin Avenue. State troopers playing managers of the lost and found as just a few seconds ago. We just missed it, actually, as MnDOT was pulling over and clearing aside what looked like a few duffel bags. I don't exactly know what it is, but it was enough where 94 westbound travelers had to slow down in a big way. You can at least enjoy the beautiful sky, but check it out. If you are not close to the scene yet, you are still sitting in a big traffic jam. 94 westbound at McKnight Road. We're moving very slowly, about 10 miles per hour at best. That is approaching that scene where we, for a short time, came to almost a complete stop, trying to clear away what looked like just a bundle of lost stuff. Tough way to start the Thursday morning. Looking now to 169, that single lane zone. Day. Not comforting for those of you who use that roadway, but at least now we have an answer. We kind of know when we're going to get that back on track. South end of town, 494 westbound, slow moving traffic, thick here at 35W. Looks like some type of indicator just popping up showing us we do have an incident right at that junction, a busy spot in the early part of the morning. Now, we want to talk about some closures in Minneapolis that will affect your ability to travel 94 westbound tonight. I'll talk about that coming up in about 10 minutes. Tom and Alex?
We'll see you then. Thank you, Kelsey.
Hey everyone, the time is now 7:24. I'm Kelsey Soby. I love this tweet from Michael Johnson. He says, a beautiful day for a drive to the office. It really looks like a pretty day out there. Unfortunately, some of you will be sitting in some sunny slowdowns. 35W at 94th Street, we have a crash here pulled over to the side of the road. A few people exchanging some information. Looks like a trooper on the scene and drivers northbound slowing. Already kind of a thick spot for traffic in the morning. And we see now that we're backed up to that Burnsville split. Burnsville Parkway northbounders heading toward that scene at 94th Street. We'll see even greater slowdowns than we normally see down in the South Metro. And a reminder, even just south of the Burnsville split, that's where we have construction at Crystal Lake Road adding to backups. 94 at McKnight Road, westbound travelers still moving very slowly after some crash in Bloomington. Certainly not helping things in that already busy area of the morning. And we go to the Northeast Metro. We continue to see heavy traffic 35 east southbound. That's not so surprising, but that closure, Highway 36 from White Bear Avenue to Highway 61, that is sending some of the traffic up to 694 and 35E as their alternate route. So you will find some added jam ups there probably in the next few weeks. A reminder that tonight at 10 p.m. westbound 94 will be closing between Highway 280 and 35W. That will also close some ramps. That will lift though by 5 a.m. At this hour, we are heading over to MA, who's outside, and I think there may be some traffic headed our way when they find out what MA is up to this morning. Oh, we're going to have to check back in with her after a break, so stay with us. The Fox 9 Morning News. We'll be right back.
Well, good morning and welcome back to the Fox 9 Morning News. It is time to start drooling. Yes, the list is out for the new foods coming to the State Fair.
47 new foods.
Kelsey and I did kind of the dog.
Yeah,
we love peanut butter and jelly.
Could be good.
We love ice cream.
Oh, I do it.
Putting them
And
together.
peanut butter and ice cream could be good. You know, the grape jelly is the question mark.
That's right, exactly.
You know, it
that's
seems
gonna
like
be
it's
for
the
most people.
lesser of all the jellies, doesn't it? When you go to the
That's the only jelly,
restaurant,
in my opinion,
they
that's
give
the
you-
only jelly.
Great.
Oh, really?
I don't deviate.
I like
think
the
I
strawberry
offended
and the raspberry.
I'm
Don't
all
be
about the
messing up.
raspberry.
I like the raspberry.
There's no donut other than glazed. There's no jelly.
I agree
other
with
than
that.
I thought it was like the mixed jelly when you
berry?
go to the restaurant. It's like the
Oh, you're right.
Oh, like
Yeah,
the actual.
it's-
Oh, I
No, that's
Yeah.
we don't know what it is. Tell you
that's
something. We
the,
put it in a
the one
packet for
everybody
us.
rejects.
It's sweet and
Rejects.
I don't know.
Okay, we have a complete list, by the way, at our Facebook page on myfox9.com. So check out all the new flavors of the State Fair.
And along with posting the new foods on our Facebook page, we're asking you about your must-have foods at the fair. And here's what you're saying. Staying on the topic of food, the top food trucks are teaming up to let you try different foods all in the same location.
Yeah, the second annual Minnesota Food Truck Fair returns to Uptown on Sunday.
And May Roscoe, she has a.
If it's smooth, there's one of them. And there we go.
Well, it's sunny and it's beautiful, but it's causing some slowdowns, that sunshine. And by the way, guys, speaking of overwhelming, who's going to be overwhelmed? The food trucks, when all of us take a break and run out there. Can we get some food? Right now, I believe it is the sunshine causing our eastbound travelers to slow down in a big way in a few main highways. 212 is one of those eastbounders here in Eden Prairie, moving at about 25 to 30 miles per hour at best. Keep in mind, when we have the bright sunshine, sometimes eastbound travelers especially have a bigger slowdown for you. Same goes for 394 travelers heading eastbound into downtown Minneapolis. A busy area, usually in the morning. This is at the junction of Highway 100, looking like speeds are even a little lower than we're used to seeing. We're back to 212. We love this scene. It's from Highway 7 to the crosstown. Now to the Northeast Metro, a lot of these orange spots, red spots won't surprise you. 36 westbound through the Roseville area, 35E heading into St. Paul. But notice 94 looking dark red here starting in Maplewood. We had some debris in the roadway, looked like some luggage or something. We did get it cleared away, but as a result, we had to slow down traffic, allow MnDOT trooper to get out and basically clear that aside. Now we go to the southbound side of town where we have some red popping up. 494 eastbound again, maybe because of the bright sun, but also westbound as you approach 35W, a stalled vehicle right at the junction of 494 and 35W, making drivers put the brakes on even more. Not a good junction for that, but just keep an eye out for it as you travel in that direction. At 7:39, it's time for weather on the 9s here on the Fox 9. In the Twin Cities area, some bright sunshine, although in some cases the sun a little too bright, so bring those sunglasses. Some of you are forced to slow down a bit just because it's so bright out there. Here though, 94 eastbound travelers are slowing as a result of a crash reported near LaSalle, so do prepare to put the brakes on. It is already a busy time of day for 94 in Minneapolis. The good news is some of those lane restrictions and closures on 94 overnight have been moved aside, although we have new ones in place tonight. I'll tell you about that coming up. Right now though, 94 a little farther east in St. Paul, westbounders moving slowly for a few reasons. 1, at Mounds Boulevard, we have a crash reported. 2, right around this area earlier, we had some luggage or some type of debris in the roadway that caused a jam up. We were backed up, still some heavy traffic here. And then you continue to see 94 slow going as you approach Minneapolis, a busy spot for the Twin Cities, of course, at this hour. And then that crash at LaSalle certainly not helping things. A view at the south side of town, that 494 southeast loop. That's been slow here and there randomly, sometimes no crashes, but westbound traffic slowing starting at Highway 61. The time is almost 8 o'clock, almost, so stay with us. If you travel 94 between Minneapolis and St. Paul, a few things you need to know about, starting with a few incidents this morning that could slow you down, plus some overnight construction that will actually close a stretch of 94. That's all coming up.
And we had about 13 trucks out there at one time. Now we're down to 1. So hopefully more friends will file in.
Did you eat everything they had? And just
we sampled.
We went out there to sample, and they were all gone. So we hope.
Just out of curiosity,
we've got one left.
We're all in the studio together here. Hi. We're all friends here at the station. Hello.
Hello.
Why wasn't I aware of this little field trip out to see the food trucks?
Well, it was a bust because there was
just the one.
There was
you
the one.
had to be at the right place at the right time. We were just sitting in the newsroom, and Tom went, "Hey, let's go outside."
I thought we'd get the little
take a visit.
snack, but all the samples they've been showing all morning were sitting on the front of the little counter, and that was all they were offering.
They left samples and ran, huh?
Well,
they heard we were coming.
They've been sitting there for a while in the sun.
Oh, I understand.
So, we'll get some more tasty little snacks, I think, before the end of the show today.
By the way, good morning.
Hi.
And welcome to the Fox 9 Morning News. Good to have you with us on this Thursday morning.
Good morning, everybody. We'll talk about the weather and traffic in a moment, but first we need to get to the news of the day.
Yep, here are the top headlines.
Thank you so much. That's Stephanie Gilhard live in Minneapolis. What's going on over there? There's
giggling guy was telling Tom how cold I was, and he told me I had to get my circulation going in order to help me. He did some of these.
He did a couple of those, just to help with the circulation. That's
part
all.
of my arm is really warm.
Here to help.
Jumping Jacks
Your
next
cheek
hour.
will be warm after this quick traffic report. Let's give you a live look outside right now. This stretch will be affected by some ongoing construction. You maybe saw the closures overnight. We'll see some new closures this evening starting at 10 p.m. We'll be closing westbound, undergoing some more construction. We saw that last summer as well. Giving you a look a little bit farther to the east and to the south, we are seeing what most would expect at this hour. Busy roadways, a lot of people heading a lot of places. The good news is 35W at 94th, we just cleared a crash there, so hopefully that congestion on the south side will start to ease. We'll see. It is 8:09, it's time to see what's going on.